Hello everyone. So in this video, I'd like to speak about an app idea that I'm having. So this might be actually helpful. So now currently, as you can see, like to create an app or functionality that we need to look into Google Play Store and search for apps before we can find an app that we want. Like we have a requirement in mind, so we want to do something, and we just search for apps that actually do that, and we just scroll through all of the apps in Google Play Store until we find something that is close to what we want, but we don't really actually get something that is very tailored to us. So it's more generic. So it's like one app fits all kind of the apps that are existing. So if we want something that is more personalized, we need to kind of we can't find one at this point that is very personalized, just specific for you. So to understand why this is happening, we need to kind of understand how the app is built. So app is built using something called a front end and a back end, or sometimes apps only have front end. So it's like there is a code that is running to run the app, and the people who run this code are called developers, and these developers use something called code editor. So in this code editor, they just type what they want in the app, and then they kind of create the app. So it is not so simple as it sounds, but this is the overall track of how it works. And these days, in recent days, we have AI-powered code editors, and it's been very a revolutionary thing, or it is kind of a very impactful change because earlier we had to write everything that we want. Like if we want a feature, we have to write everything. But for now, it's like AI does the thing for you. You can just ask AI to about what you want, and it automatically does the thing. So and especially like in apps like in editors like Cursor, like you have full like you have full control of what you want. It's just like so simple. You just type in what you want in the app, and it automatically creates the code. So the idea here is now this is just like a new emerging thing. So a breakthrough idea here would be that instead of having a code editor separately and having a app separately, like instead of having to write the code and then build the app, this is much more like using the app as the builder of the app. So we need to kind of merge both of the code editor and the app. So it is much like building app from the app. So to explain this clearly, let's take an existing example. So currently, there is an app called Notion, and as you might have seen, so it is currently full of pages and all of these things. So I kind of use Notion. It's uh, helpful. So and currently, like earlier, it was kind of useful, like it was more general and everybody can use. But currently, these days, it's becoming more business oriented, and I kind of feel like it is not very uh, giving more attention to users, like individual users in the plans or in the Notion. So it's like so we're kind of thinking about that also. So I'm just kind of saying about the overall idea, overall thing about how it can work just as an example to understand this thing. So it is something like you have a main page and you have something called blocks, and uh, you can just add blocks into the pages, and everything that you add is kind of a block. So this is the overall abstract of uh, how the Notion works overall, but there are many details to that. So that is how it works. So taking that as what do you say, just to explain this, I'm just saying that as an example. So you have that blank screen, and after that you can have these kind of blocks that is adding in the app. So here, that is how it works. So coming back to our example, so we need to kind of so what I want to say is now we need to create the app from inside the app. So here's how it can be. So here's the idea that I want to say about. So we can have like the entry page for the app. So that is like similar to this thing in Notion. Not just Notion, but any other apps also like you have Evernote, and you have other apps that basically like it has a main page that as in you enter. So as you enter, there is a main page. So like that in this app also there will be a main page, and from inside each of the page, you can give like you can literally go to the page and you can create databases. So this is your overall app idea. So you have data and you have the interfaces so that you can interact with your data. So any app, as you can see, fundamentally, if you see about any app, it is interacting with data. Like for example, you're having habit trackers, you have food planners, all of these things. So habit trackers manages the habit data, and food trackers manage your food tracking data. So every day you eat some food, you log your data. So that is the data. It manages that, and it also has external databases like you have external food databases to get the protein details and calories and all of these details for the food. So it's always managing about data. And an app is like managing the user interfaces. It's like you're creating an interface that you can communicate with your data and view and get some useful information out of the data. So at the base of any app is like data. So in this thing, in this area, first you'll be having a base called a data. So you will be creating data sources or something like that. So something like a data sources, and there will be a separate section. You can create a number of data sources, and you'll have a blank page, and there will be some mechanism where you can create something. You can describe what you want. Like let's say you want a good habit tracker, and you'll be like, uh, or let's say you want a food tracker. So you'll be adding the food details of every day that you want to add, and you'll get a data source called food entries, and you can simply go and say in one of the page, you can open a new page, and there will be a search bar, and you can ask, you can give a prompt like I want to uh, add and enter data in the food entries for the food log. And similar to how cursor works, like at this point cursor is actually working very well. So it's like, and at the time when we are kind of implementing these things, maybe it will be much more better. So it's always getting better from here. So obviously that's going to be, you're going to get much more efficient, and intelligent models will be there at that time. So it will be much more simpler and easier than it is now. So it might get much more feasible and efficient. So you can just simply, there will be search bar, and you can just simply type I want to enter details to the student database, and I want to create a form, or much more better way to enter details into the student database. And the Claude or whatever AI that is, so like cursor, like it will send the request to AI, and the AI will build the thing in that page for you. And you can just send minor tweaks on all these things, and that is your app, and you've already created the thing here. So compared to other existing ones, you have like this that is so rigid, like you can only have specific types of things, but here you can literally, like, your imagination is the only limit here. You can literally ask anything that you want in front of the blank screen. You can just simply ask anything, and it will automatically use data sources and create the interface for you to interact with your data. And after that, imagine you have got the form and entry area for the app. Like for example, you have entry areas for the food entries, and after that you can just simply tweak the changes that you want, and there can be a sidebar, and literally each page in the sidebar is your own app that you want, that is customized for yourself, because it is only you are creating the orator. So the key important insight here is coding languages or code languages is no more the constraint here, because now learning code languages is not the requirement anymore, because after you are having this AI and all of these things, your normal language is the code language, because that layer of code between what you want and what you want to be done is no longer existing. So it's like earlier you have an idea, and you have to bring that into an app for that idea to be, for the requirement to be done. And since not everybody can understand this code language much more easily, we had a layer called the developers. We had a layer between the app and the user. It's like people who develop these apps, because they are more well versed in code languages, and they want to create the apps that the user can use. And this is how it has been so far. But in the recent days, in the upcoming days, this layer is going to be completely uh, another, because AI can understand what you're saying directly, and it can implement the code for you. So this reduces the barrier between what you want and what's the requirement you want. And code languages is kind of an abstract layer, like machine language, as how it was earlier. Code languages is might be going into that thing. I don't know, but it is kind of something like that. So you can kind of create. You can just tell what you want, and it will automatically create it for you, and everything will manage by AI. Like for example, in this code editors, you will be having something like uh, file management structures and all these things. So for example, what architecture pattern, all these things. So me myself, I'm not kind of any coding background or anything, but I've just kind of explored these things recently. So it's like, yeah, it is kind of good. So I was just trying to create some apps, or just trying to create some functionalities, checking about how these things can be done and how it works. And I've been working on this for a while, so I just kind of know some things about it, not everything, but just some things, overall things about it. So just saying, so yes, that is about that. So all these buttons will be automatically managed by the AI that you are using, and here's the keyboard. So this is just one of the features, and each of the page in the sidebar could be your own app. And you can just literally go to add a new page, and you can go to the new page and literally type in a search bar, and you can kind of ask for whatever you want. Say, for example, you are asking, I want a study planner here using the studies subjects database and chapters database. I want to view the subjects, and when I click on a subject, it needs to open another page which is called chapters page, and inside this page, I want to view all of the lessons in that chapter. And I want to also, in the subject space, I want to also see the average mark of the um, previous tests, which will be taken from the test database. So you can kind of simply write in natural language, and the backend, the code part of it will be automatically taken care by the uh, AI. So this is not something that is abstract or in the future, or this is very advanced. This is what is currently happening. So in cursor, like it is literally like that. So you kind of really ask for what you want. So they have created a great mechanism. That's off to cursor. It's like actually a great thing. So it's actually working really great. So yeah, it's already working here. So what I'm trying to say is, instead of having a code editor that you can enter this, if you bring that code editor directly to the user can create the app itself. So they can create the app from within the app. So the code editor itself becomes an app, and you have all of these things. So when you click on a page and say you are a developer and you want to get the source files or source code, so you can literally go to a page and you can click on some settings or three dot menu or something like that, and you can click and you can just get files exported for that page, and it will be very simple. So it's kind of one of the ideas that is in development. So it's like, yeah, this is the overall idea. So, and there can be sidebar, and there can be a lot of each page is an app. And yeah, you might think that this the cost of this might become very huge and people cannot afford anything, but like if you want custom apps at your control, and yeah, there is going to be some cost. But the thing is, only when you're creating the thing, you'll be having some cost. But once you've created the user interface, it's like completely offline, completely maybe also not maybe offline for the data, because data you might not be able to store the data in your own PC, so maybe you'll need some servers. So for the data, maybe you'll have to connect to connect online, but otherwise for the UI and everything, it's already built. So the files uh, are already there. You don't have to create new files once you have the UI that is done for you. So it is something like that. So once you have the app, it's not so much cost. Only until you're building the app or you want to build new app, the cost will be coming there. So that is how it can work. So that is about this idea and how this can be done. So yeah, that is about the cost. And anyway, like if this thing has to be done, so uh, there's going to be some cost for it. So this is how it can be working. So so in this thing, so let's see how we can do this. So if you're watching this video and you find this idea actually a good one, or you kind of have more ideas on how you can build upon this idea, you can contact me. You can contact using the email there. Like if you want to get some more details about the idea about that I'm having, or you find this idea interesting and you want to kind of develop on this idea, you can obviously send a mail or contact using details. Like maybe I'll put them in the description, or you can go to the channel page and you can get the details then. So yeah, so that would be very helpful. I'd be happy to help and happy to think about and work on this idea. So I kind of think that this idea can be actually very helpful and kind of one that kind of makes more sense, because at this point, like if this idea gets actually some uh, gets working, and you kind of think about it, the if you just think about it, the vision for this or the overall aim for this is any person can install this app. So I also kind of created a name for this, like it's like can be Magicarp or something. So like magic wand, and you can just any page there will be a magic wand, and you can just click on the magic wand, and you can say what you want to the page. Like for example, I want uh, yeah, just as I explained earlier, you can say anything. So for any database you're having, and I want this thing to be this page, and I want to create this, that you can just uh, tell that, and the magic wand will do the work for you. That is, the AI will do the work for you. And yeah, so this idea comes, what is the actual reality, and if this is done, so there can be, what is it, any user only have to download one app for everything. It's like Magicarp, and inside that app there will be all of pages. Like in the sidebar, you have list of pages, and literally each page is an app. So whatever they want to create, they can create. For example, they want to create a custom tracker for their routine in the morning. Like they want to be like, they cannot find their own app that works specifically for them, and they want to create some databases. They want to create some app for what they want. And yeah, that is about that. And one thing that I kind of missed, one thing that I wanted to say earlier is databases also, like we can kind of, where the data is stored, the user can decide upon changing the data source. Like for example, if they want to store the data in one database and suddenly they want to change data to some other database, and they can also do that. They can also change databases as they want. This is kind of a minor detail, but this is also one of the details that can be there. So yeah, so one of the requirements for this to be actually very impactful is at least having a minor code what is it, code understanding about how the thing app works. For example, the user needs to understand about databases and how databases work and all these things. But at an abstract level, like even AI can create the databases by itself, so you don't have to. The user doesn't have to manually create the databases. You can just say the abstract details, and AI can automatically create the database that is required, and also the code that is required. So yeah, so this is the idea. So once, if this is done, if this works, and you'll have one app that will say literally every page is and sub app inside. So you build the app from inside the app. So this, I think, can be very helpful, and the user doesn't have to rely on existing apps, and they can just install this app and they can just build whatever they want inside the app specifically for them. For like a specific app, for example, they want to, what do you say, plan for a trip, and they want specific, what do you say, requirements for the plan requirement. Like for example, they want to say what are the things each of the person is bringing, and they want to coordinate between these things. And they can simply say like, let's create a users or friends database, and let's create a plan database, and let's create something like that, and not something like that. So for example, if you can say, we have, what is it, planned rooms database, and we have users database or friends database. And you can simply say like, I want to, in this place, we want all of the users must be able to create a group, and inside the group there must be something like a contribution area where where the users can say, or the group members can say they want to bring these things in, and that needs to be added in kind of a table UI in front of it, and I can just put inside that. You just describe, like, you can literally describe what you want in the app, and it will be automatically created by the AI, and it will be shown on the page. And that is just there. Like once the code is created, it's just there. So whenever you want, you can just go and use the app that you're having. So planning and all these things can be done inside that. So yeah, it's just like, even for one-time apps, this might work very well. So yeah, that's the thing here. So this is the overall idea about how this can work. This, I believe, can be working. So yeah, so this is about the app idea. So if you found this thing very useful and very helpful, so you can actually contact. I'll be happy to help and work more on this idea. So, and yeah, that is about this idea. Yeah, I'm giving it, I'm just saying it here because if anybody who's watching this might, what is you want to develop on this area, and they can develop this area, and we can have an app that is useful for everyone. So hopefully, if you're watching this, if you like this idea, you can just work on that. And if you need any additional details about what I was describing right now, you can contact me. I'll be happy to help and work on the idea. And yeah, that is about the video. So that's what I wanted to record in this video. So hopefully you found this video helpful. See you next video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. See you next video.